You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it. But
what's up, everybody? This is Prime Sports Media. I'm at you right now. Look, I got to be honest with everybody. When I thought about doing this particular video, the matchup between Colorado and Colorado State, I never thought that it was going to get to this point where their coach was going to jump out of the window. We're talking about Jay Norvell. He jumped out of the window, said a bunch of cheesy things after having a press conference where he had some things positive to say. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I'm going to get into this right now because he really shouldn't be talking. Now, of course, you know, he's a black coach himself, and I don't like to see two black men, you know, a black man talking about another black man in this way. But once again, it's a shame that Coach Jay Norvell had to come out and say what he said, and he's just made it personal. And Coach Prime said it himself. I've got lots of video to show you, footage to reinforce the point here that he should have never said what he said. And now he's cashing a check. He's how do they say it? He's writing a check that his ass can't cash. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Jay, why did you have to go and start opening up your mouth about Coach Prime, who didn't say anything negatively about your program other than the fact that he wasn't very familiar with your program? I think Coach Prime said in a press conference that he had both his sons, I believe Shiloh and Shador, at one point in time took a visit to Colorado State and said that they liked it, but they like Colorado even better now, right? So he said he just doesn't know a lot about the team itself. He does know that Jay Norvell has a long history of coaching both in college as well as the pros. I think at one point in time he spent maybe 6 years at Oklahoma under the tutelage of Bob Stoops or someone like that nature, that coach. And why would he do this? And then talk about Deion saying that Deion, he wears a hat, he wears shades, and that my mama told me, you know, when you talk to people, take your hat off, take your shade. Look, Coach Prime is 100% real and solid. He's been this way since day one when he came into the NFL right out of Florida State as a prospect, as a first round pick, okay? He's never changed. A lot of these college coaches are phony. And I don't know if Coach Jay Norvell is doing this simply to pump up his kids, because he realized when he looks at the video, when he looks at what Colorado has, he knows that his team is in a lot of trouble, okay? A lot of trouble. Now, this is a rivalry. I think it's called the Rocky Mountain rivalry. The Rocky Mountain Showdown, right? Which Colorado has gotten the best of over the years, okay? And I just think that the coach of Colorado State, he miscalculated, misspoke, should have never said what he said, because he's just added more fuel to a flaming fire, which is Colorado. And they're coming. They're here, and they're not playing any games. You saw how they played against both TCU and Nebraska. In the TCU game, it was their offense that totally took over the game, right? And in the Nebraska game, it was the defense that totally took over. So what Colorado proved to us is that they can play any style of football. And Jay Norvell, what are you talking about, my man? What are you doing? I've got to laugh at you once again. Because when I tell you, Jay, you got to stop being a hater, man. Because look, let's look at and I'm going to get to the breakdown. This is going to fall right into the breakdown of this matchup, everybody, because it's going to be very laughable. Jay is the coach of Colorado State. Listen to me, brother. You should have never jumped out the window and start talking about Deion like this. Okay, because you've got a lot of problems on your own football team, brother. Your own football team has got some serious issues that you need to address as a head football coach. And let me tell you what they are. Okay. Now, everybody, listen to me very closely. Do you know that Colorado State in their opener, in their opening game, they lost to Washington State 50-24. And then they had a rare second week bye to assess what went wrong. While he's talking about Coach Prime, this is crazy. While he's talking about Coach Prime in Colorado, dude, you got some fixing to do on your own team. You should be worrying about your own team because according to ESPN's data right now, they give you about 11.9% of beating Colorado. It's laughable. I know. It's laughable, everybody. Whereas Colorado has an 88.1%, according to the ESPN analysis, of beating your ass. You see, whether you like Coach Prime wearing his glasses, doesn't matter, or his hat. It's just, what about what he's doing for young men? What about what he's doing to uplift his program? And Coach Prime hasn't said a nasty thing about Colorado State other than he wasn't very familiar with their football team overall, okay? And I want to get you familiar, ladies and gentlemen. Now, unlike TCU and Nebraska, they don't run a 3-3-5 defense. They run the typical base 4-3 defense, okay? Their job, what they do with their 4-3 base defense is they have their best of their safeties outside line. So they take their best safety. They have their outside linebackers. And their defensive coordinator on this team is trying to use a variety of blitzes to pressure in order to confuse the opponent. So what Colorado's going to have to look for is that this team that got blown out the door by Washington State just in their opening week, 50-24, they're going to try with their little 4-3 defense to try to blitz and use their safeties and cause disruption to the Colorado. They're going to attempt it, but I think it's going to be foolishly embarrassing because they ain't going to be able to stop Colorado. No way. They want to use confusing blocking schemes. That's part of what Colorado State does. Confusing. They're not going to fool Colorado. Colorado has played against, in my opinion, the best defense that they've played against so far was against Nebraska. And this Colorado State team doesn't have anything that resembles that situation. Now, keep this in mind. I think Coach Prime should take advantage of this. Colorado State has a very young offense. Okay. Their goal is to run the ball offensively. That's part of their main scheme that they're going to run on offense, to run the ball. And this is what they want to do. Their quarterback plays mainly under center, and their goal is to get you involved so they can run play action against Colorado's defense, right? And then what they do is they use a 2-back set, or they rotate 2 running backs in and out to keep their running backs fresh, and they keep their quarterback under center. But hell, they couldn't handle Washington State last week, who whipped their ass 50-24. We laugh at that again. The goal for Colorado State is to try to run a play action style offense against Colorado. That's going to be in their game plan. But this is the thing. If they can't pass the ball against one of the strengths of this defense of Colorado, which is their secondary, if they can't pass the ball, if they can't run the ball, which they're going to try to run, but if they can't pass, how will the play action work if Colorado secondary will neutralize their receivers? Now, they're going to run the ball a lot because one of the problems, as we have seen with Colorado this year, is that they have given up a lot of running yardages against their defense. So right now it shows that their secondary is good. Their offensive passing offense on Colorado is doing the damn thing. But one of the problems that's being recognized is the glaring issues in the running game. They're gonna have to generate more of a running threat. But I think they can still beat Colorado State, whether they're running the ball. Hell, if they run the ball one time, they're going to beat Colorado State, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? I think the coaching staff will fix these problems. According to the stats right now, the Colorado Buffs ranked 22nd, which is the worst in FBS in total defense, with 441 yards allowed per game. The coaches that you see on the screen here, they will clean this up. It's been a different story on offense, as they rank 14th best in the FBS with a 509.5 yards per game. That's fantastic. Okay, now Colorado offensively has been at the top, is in the top 25 right now unit. They're the top 25 unit in terms of their offense. In terms of passing yardage, once again, the running game is going to have to be, coaches are going to have to really get that running game going. And we know Coach Prime and the coaches know what they're doing. They will get this thing going. But right now, it's the passing skills that they have. When you got Travis Hunter, you've got Xavier Weaver out there doing his thing. People like Dotson doing what he did just a week ago. And of course, we know we got Jimmy Horn out there who can be disruptive in the passing game. Now, ranking second, check this out. Their passing game, their offense ranks second best in the FBS by compiling 453 yards per game, right? Colorado Buffs rank 54th on defense, 199 passes yards allowed per game. So a lot of things that Colorado is going to have to clean up, but nothing to fear, because I think they're going to handle Colorado State very, very, very easy, because Colorado State and Jay Novo, he really needs to shut his mouth. I'm going to show you the video where he ran his mouth, ladies and gentlemen, just ran his mouth off. As a matter of fact, let's go right ahead and get to that video right now. We're going to play it a few times, and I'm going to say this as I always do. Let me get right to it. Let's get right to this right now. This is about fair use, fair use, fair use. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion picture, video tapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, and is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which does not infringe of the copyright under 17 USC 107. Boy, when I read you these numbers, I don't know what's wrong with this coach, why he said this, because before he made those nasty statements, he went from saying this right here. Check this out. This is fair use.
Excited about this opportunity. As far as Colorado's concerned, they've done a really good job. They played 2 games. Their offense has been really outstanding. They're playing at a high level, averaging 40 points a game, 510 passing. They're not running the ball very well, only 56 yards a game rushing. Just really playing at a high percentage. And they've got good players. I got to tell you, Deion Sanders is an excellent quarterback. And he's playing at a high level, and obviously don't need me to recognize that, but he's playing at an extremely high level. I went back and went over with our team the keys to victory that we use for our program. And in the first 2 games, TCU and Nebraska, the game is basically dead even. In a lot of ways, TCU and Nebraska outplayed CU in a lot of areas of the game.
See what you see right there? He's saying that in a lot of ways, TCU and Nebraska outplayed Colorado. So he's getting up his courage. I think at the end of the day, this is all talk. He really feels that, hey, we can beat Colorado, right? That maybe this is what he's saying to his players, and which is why he jumped out the window when I show you the other video, because in this video he's a little humble. He talks about how Shedeur is a great quarterback, is a good quarterback, great quarterback. Okay, he has some favorable things to say about Colorado, but then he's also looking at the fact that Colorado has given up some points on the ground, which is true. But now here comes the liquid courage that let's continue what he's saying before I get to the video that everybody's been talking about. But I just wanted to lay a foundation here, everybody. Check this out again. This is fair use, fair use.
Special teams, rushing the football, not giving up minus yardage plays and sacks. The one difference in the game is the play of the quarterback in both of those games. Shedeur threw for 510 the first week, threw for a bunch of yards last week. He's got an excellent group of receivers. I really think Xavier Weaver's a good player. Obviously, Travis Hunter and a good running back in Dylan Edwards. But that's been the difference for them, is that their ability to throw the football for a high percentage and not turn it over. And,
right.
Obviously, that's going to be the key to the game for us. If we're going to be able to slow CU down, we've got to make it difficult for Shedeur and slow those receivers down and manage that game and get off the field. We have to get off the field defensively. As far as their defense is concerned, their coordinator came from Alabama, had a chance to watch a lot of their games. It's a very unique front. It's more of a pro-style defense. They play some odd and even. They'll play with a jack and a star player that plays at the boundary majority of the time. And they'll move Travis Hunter around. They've given up some rushing yards. Both games they've given up over 200 yards rushing.
Now, right there, he's showing a certain level of respect by talking about the player Shedeur, Xavier Weaver, some of the great talents on this team, Travis Hunter, and some of the things that they've done, right? He's impressed by, right? But then he recognizes that, okay, Colorado has given up some yards on the ground. So this is what I'm setting up, everybody. How did Coach Jay Norvell go from saying those things to now going on to his own funky podcast, everybody, and jumping out the window and becoming a hater instantly after saying those things? I wanted to give you some contrast. Like, how did he go from saying those favorable things about Colorado, realizing he's going to have to deal with a monster of a team, and then I'm thinking maybe he went to a bar and he got drunk. He got, as I said before, liquid courage to be able to jump out the window and say what he just did now, poking at Coach Prime. Are you crazy, Jay Norvell? You've got to be out of your mind. Sir, why would you do this? Your team is in bad shape. You have a team that's at the bottom. And let me read these stats to you. You have a team that's at the bottom of the top 25. You have a team that has a total defense season surrounding 556 total yards per game, which ranks 5th worst on the offensive list. Your team, Jay, listen to me. Don't be a shy, Jay. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to Prime Sports Media here. Jay, you have a team on offense that ranks 90th with 357 total yards per contest. On defense, Colorado State is at the bottom of the 25 passing unit, giving up 466 passing yards per game. You're the 3rd worst. Now, we know that Colorado is going to have to clean up their running game, and they're going to have to clean up what they do in terms of giving up yardage on the ground. We know that, but you're bad. Jay, your team is 3rd worst. Now, fortunately for you, your offensive side of the ball accumulated 320 passing yards per contest, which puts you at 15th best ranking. But for rushing the ball offensively has been at the bottom. Jay, your team has been at the bottom. Your rushing yards is at the bottom of that top 25. Just a season, you registered 37 rushing yards per game, which ranks third worst in the FBS. On defense, your defense ranks 37th with 90 rushing yards conceded per contest. Colorado State's defense has been at the bottom 25 unit on third down this season. Surrendering, let me correct that. Surrendering, Jay, your team, surrendering a 64.7% third down conversions rates, which ranks fifth worst in FBS football. On offense, Colorado stinks. Oh, everybody, okay? I said it. Colorado State, or is it Colorado stinks? That's what they should be cheering in the stadium this weekend. Not Colorado State, Colorado stinks. I'm talking about Colorado State stinks. Colorado State stinks. I want to make sure you recognize that. This Colorado State team's defense, boy. Jay, you shouldn't have went here. Third down conversion. You ranked 96 with a 64.7% third down rate. With 2 forced turnovers, you rank at 71st in the FBS. And the Colorado State Rams rank 62nd in the FBS with turnover margin of 0. Oh my God. And you had the nerve to jump out the window and say this, everybody. I'm gonna let this repeat. Check this out. This is fair use for the reasons of parity, education, analysis, the whole 9-yard fair use.
I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it for yourself. I repeated the video. That was fair use. Jay Norvell running his mouth on his funky podcast. I think this man went to a bar, had a drink or two or more than he should have had, and got some liquid courage in his body.
Tell the truth.
To say the things that he just said, and you don't do that. You have a football team that's coming off of 2 big wins, that's coming off of reviving themselves as a program. They went 1-11 a year ago. Coach Prime has brought new energy to the program, to the campus, and to college football. And he feeds off of this type of stuff. His team feeds off of people hating on him. This just gives them more bulletin board. You're giving them more bulletin board material to go out there. And now Coach Prime said that after you said this, man, that it's become personal. He had nothing against Colorado State, but you all, look, everybody. What's wrong with these coaches in this country who can't stop having some criticism? I think the criticism is because they see a change in college football. They see Coach Prime as a threat. They see him as a recruiting threat. Maybe Jay Norvell is talking all this trash because he knows that he's going to have to compete with Coach Prime when it comes to getting in-state recruits. So maybe he wants to say, hey, I'm going to stand up to Colorado because they're the bully and we're the small school. Man, Jay, you barked up the wrong tree with this. Listen to this bullshit.
I told him my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. Okay. I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder.
Okay. I just had to push that again because, yeah, Jay, that's what your mama told you. Great, man. That's what your mama told you. You're your own man. You display yourself the way you want to display yourself. Coach Prime displays himself the way he wants. He's always been that way. He's not fake. It's not anything new. This is who Coach Prime is. He likes to wear his hats, his shades, his jewelry. So freaking what? You need to be focused on your football team. Your football team is at the bottom of a lot of rankings. Your football team took a beating by Washington State. Your football team isn't very good, Jay.
Tell the truth.
Isn't very good. So what are you talking about? So much that Prime had to respond in kind to your behind. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach Prime speaking truth. This is fair use for parody, for education, analysis, criticism, and news. Check this out.
It was just going to be a good game.
And made this shit personal.
They messed around and made it personal. It was going to be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they messed around and made it personal.
Let's hear that again, everybody. Let's hear that again. I think that deserves to be heard once more. As Coach Prime says, I thought it was going to be a great game between two in-state rivals, Colorado and Colorado State, and they didn't mess around and made it personal. And then you know what this is going to do on Saturday? This is going to be on game day, ESPN. Now Coach Prime's going to have one of his classic speeches to his players, and they've got another reason to go out there and whoop some behind. Look, this team, this Colorado State team is not a good football team. They're a young team with a lot of issues, and I think Coach Prime is going to put them in their place. But let's hear this again. This is fair use again.
I'm minding my own business, watching some film, trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I could be. And I look up and I read some bull junk that Deion said about us.
Talk to us.
Once again,
Talk to us.
why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts up, and do our job on Saturday. But when they give us ammunition, they done messed around and made it what?
Right, personal.
It was just going to be a good game.
And made this shit personal.
They done messed around and made it personal. It was going to be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal.
They didn't mess around. They didn't made it personal. And now whatever happens to Colorado State, if they get blown off the field, guess what? I'm not going to feel sorry for them or their coach, because he should have never gave Colorado bulletin board motivation. They already had motivation. They already believe. I believe. You believe. But these coaches in this country, I don't care what the color is. There's jealousy. There's envy. There's people that are tired of the attention that Colorado is getting, so they have to chip away. And like Coach Prime said, he's not going around jumping out the window just talking about these coaches and their teams. I don't know what's wrong with Jay. He went from talking humble about Colorado, like right here, right? And then I don't know.
And the strength of their team is by far their secondary.
Yeah, it's the secondary,
Travis
Jay.
Hunter's a really unique player.
Right, see?
I've never seen anybody do what he's done so far in 2 games. Kid deserves a lot of credit. He's an excellent athlete and a great competitor.
Travis Hunter.
You know, I really like number 43, Trevor Woods, their free safety. I know he's a returning kid, but really a physical guy,
right?
A heady player. Marvin Ham's an excellent linebacker.
Okay, so what went wrong, Jay? Norvell, you had great things to say about the team, and then you flipped the script like you did, and you jumped out that damn window. This is crazy. This is crazy, everybody. Let's hear from Coach Prime. You know, Coach Prime had a press conference. He didn't say anything negative about Colorado State. He said that he's used to and he recognizes what rivalries are based on his experience in the NFL, right? He said honestly that he didn't really know that much about Colorado State, other than the fact that he did have 2 sons, Shador and Shallow, who went there on a visit when there was a recruitment visit, and they liked it, but they didn't like it as much as they like Colorado right now. And I mentioned that earlier in this program. And so I don't know.
Information is power.
Information is power. I just think the man went out and maybe he got himself liquored up a little bit too much. and got a little bit too excited on his podcast or something. I don't know.
I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
Okay, and then they're laughing about it. Crazy. You're going to get your you know what. I just can't wait. Look, these are Colorado's state stats. Colorado State stats in 2022. They got a lot of improvement to do. They sacked their opponent 59 for 399 yards. Colorado State went 24 for 143 yards. First half scoring opponents 188 yards. Colorado State to 74 yards. They put up rushing TDs for Colorado State. They got about 24. Opponents had 24. Check this out. This is going to really blow you away. I want to read this right. The opponents that Colorado State played against a year ago got 24 rushing TDs against Colorado State. How many Colorado State rushing TDs did Colorado State get? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? And I want to prepare you for this because it's going to be very sad. Only 4. Only 4 rushing touchdowns for Colorado State just a year ago. And Jay is jumping out the window and talking about Coach Prime and how he doesn't like the way he wears his hat and his glasses because his mama taught him better, that he knows how to take his head off. And man, dismiss us with all of that, man. Worry about your own football team. Why don't these coaches worry about their own football team? Let's hear from Prime at his press conference. Once again, this is fair use for the purpose of educating, news reporting, criticism, parody. It does not infringe on the copyright holder under 17 USC 107, folks. Let's hear Coach Prime.
This isn't my first rodeo when it comes to that. I think the Falcons and the Saints were quite a showdown, as well as playing against the 49ers, as well as the Cowboys, 49ers. I keep going, Cowboys, Philly, Cowboys, whoever, was always a darn showdown. Baseball as well. So it's always some type of adversity that you have against someone in close proximity of you. Yeah, I had 2 divorces, which was a heck of a showdowns too. So don't tell me about a showdown.
Hey, Coach Carlos Bryant, DSM. Just wanted to ask you about Arden Walker, a local kid transferred in from Missouri. Can you talk about how his game is elevated since he's back in Colorado?
Well, he was that guy. We're lucky to have him. We're lucky that he's truly contributing for us. He can plays with a lot of energy, but just a great overall young man. And I'm proud of the man he is on and off the field. I truly am.
Coach, about the protection again, it did seem like a lot of those sacks happened. Shedeur was telling us after the game that it took him a little bit to settle in, and a lot of those sacks were happening then. Did it feel like once he settled in that protection got better, and that maybe it's just a matter of if you guys can settle in quicker?
See, the thing about when something happens, you don't really know what's going on. You just see the TV cut and he's getting sacked. You don't know who missed the block. You don't know who ran the wrong route. You don't know if he missed the read. You never know what happens on those type of plays. So you would have to go over each play one by one so you could understand what transpired on those plays. I just learned not to really get emotional with him about it, because when I watch the film, then I see what really transpired. So I don't really get upset with him, but I know for a fact he's not one to hold the ball. He's not one. He pre-snap reads are excellent, and he knows where he's going with the ball normally. So when something happens and he's getting sacked, something tremendous was supposed to happen that didn't go the way we wanted it to go. I trust him, hopefully.
Hey, Coach Nick Miller, Fox 31.
My man.
How you doing? 2-0, and obviously the first 2 wins, you guys win in different manners, but it feels like the mentality of the team is not being satisfied.
That's right.
And trying to continue to build. So going into the game against Colorado State, what is it going to take to be able to be dominant in all 3 phases of the game for all 60 minutes?
Well, we wanted to get out to a great start in practice today. We cut practice down a little bit, but we wanted the full speed and the tremendous tempo, which we got out of the guys. We got to get started. Oftentimes, coaches, teams, they wait till Saturday to get started. You get started today. You get started on the scouting report this morning. You get started when you touch that field, when you snap on that chin strap, and having a good start translates to a good start on Saturday, and that's what we need. We want to exceed expectation. If expectation is to win, we may understand that. Let's exceed that. Whatever the expectation is, let's exceed that individually and combined as a team. We're winning, but we're not playing our best football. That's a tremendous sign, and we can't wait to build off that. We want to show you a game that we put it together offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. We want to show our fan base that game, and that's what we're chasing.
All right. Coach Prime is telling you straight up they want to put a complete game together based on offensively, defensively, special teams, all facets of the football game. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think that they're going to put a complete game together, and I think they're going to wipe the floor with Colorado State. I think they have even more incentive now, and I don't think Colorado State is going to be able to handle that powerful passing offense. And I'll make another prediction. I think this is going to be the game where Colorado is going to break through with their running game. I suspect the running game is going to do some damage in this game. Let me go ahead and play once again. This is a rivalry. It's been around for quite some time. The Rocky Mountain Showdown. And I don't know what Coach Jay, I just don't know what he was thinking about, what's on his mind. He has a job to do. He's a coach. He's got to, pump his players up. Totally get that. But there's just something weird about what he did and what he said. And Coach Prime hasn't said a bad word about the man. This is just crazy. Everybody has their own style and their way of doing things. But let me let you hear. I was listening to the Undisputed with Keyshawn Johnson and Sherm and Michael Irvin, and they had a lot to say about what Coach Jay Norvell said. And let me go ahead and let you hear the audio portion of what they had to say. And I think it's very, very, very interesting. Check this out.
Gave him more. Whatever the spread is, widen it, because they're coming.
I think it's 22. Go ahead.
I know Jay Norvell very, very well.
How do you know him? Where'd you cross paths?
From high school, recruiting, just everything, LA.
He's been all over.
He's been all over the place. And the thing that I dislike about what he said about Deion, and Michael alluded to this, Deion is Deion. Far too often and too many times in the coaching universe, in the coaching world, they are fake. But I'm going to say it. Fake.
No, they are.
And I wish I could say it even more bluntly than that.
Yeah.
Coaches are fake.
Agreed.
Especially college head coaches.
Especially.
Deion's
Tell the
not.
truth.
Prime is who he is. And if that means he's going to wear glasses and a hat and his gold chains and his earring and ride on his scooter across campus, that's who he is. The kids like that. They gravitate toward that because he's authentic. He ain't going to come in your household and look at you and your family in the eyes and lie to you. This is why all these coaches got issues with him. Matt Rule said something about the TV cameras following him. Now you got Jay Norvell talking about his appearance at a press conference. It's utterly ridiculous. It really is truly ridiculous. Rather than uplift his brother and praise him for the things that he's capable of doing and changing people's lives around and giving them the hope and the belief that they can conquer their goals.
Right.
You try to squash him like a roach.
And by the way, Jay Norvell is a black head coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So rather than sit there and go, oh, okay, we love what Deion is doing. It's changed the whole landscape of college football. You weren't worried about his appearance on a television camera or the way he speaks to his team or who's following him around with TV cameras. You see what just happened to Nebraska. Okay, when Matt Rule talked about that, he hung 36 on him.
Remember, Matt Rule took his team out to the Buffalo logo before the game, and Shadura went crazy.
You're antagonizing this man for no reason at all.
For no reason.
This is not high school football. You're in the big leagues now. I just don't understand why Jay would do such a thing. I really don't. I just hope in 2 weeks that Lincoln Riley doesn't go up to Boulder talking crazy.
He won't.
I know he won't. I know he won't. I know he won't.
I was shocked by the shot that Jay Norvell took. He's been all over. He's coached pro and college football. He coached at Oklahoma for 6 years under Bob Stoops. He knows the ropes. He knows what's in bounds and what's out of bounds. Deion Sanders, to me, was the closest thing to Muhammad Ali I've ever seen in my life. And in fact,
there it is, folks. That's Skip Bayless, Keyshawn, who said he's very aware of who Coach Jay Norvell is. He has a long track record of coaching college and in the NFL. They're very baffled by why he would run his mouth like that and add more fuel to the fire that doesn't need to be added. But this is what it is, folks. I want you all to give me your honest thoughts in the comment section of this video. Let me know how you feel about what he said. Let me know what you think the score is going to be because of this. Let's go with the score. I'm going to put something in the community post about this. What do you think you predict the score will be this upcoming Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, game day, ESPN, Colorado takes on Colorado State. They will be at home. This is a rivalry game. Coach Jay Norvell has just jumped out the window and has definitely tried to write a check that his ass can't cash. I'm just being honest. And we're about to find out how much he can't cash that check. He had good words to say, and then he flipped the script for whatever the goofy reason was, everybody. This is crazy. Wow. Everybody, let me just say this to you. Thank you for supporting this channel. We're at 19,000 subscribers. We're getting close to 20,000 subscribers. This channel is growing very tremendously, and it's doing it because of your support. Make sure you share this video on all your social media. Let people know about the channel. Spread the word. If you're a content creator, put this video in your community tab if you don't mind. And I thank you so very much. We continue to do these videos and trying to make a difference and add to all the great channels that we have on YouTube covering what's happening with Colorado and the players. So with that said, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I appreciate you all. This is a trip, and I'm going to leave you with what Deion had to say once more about this whole situation again. Go on, Coach Prime. Let's hear you again.
So I'm minding my own business, watching some film, trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I could be. And I look up and I read some bull junk that Deion said about us.
Talk to us.
Once again,
talk to us.
Why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts up, and do our job on Saturday. But when they give us ammunition,
fair use.
They done messed around and made it what? It was just gonna be a good game.
And made this shit personal.
They done messed around and made it personal. It was gonna be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later. Right now.